Okay, welcome to the lab. Today we're going to talk about system access. Uh, with this lab, what we want to do is we want to make sure that multiple people can access our computer, and we're going to set it up so that different users have access to different files as well. So to start, make sure that you open up your VMware Workstation Pro and turn on your Windows 10-01 computer so that you can log in with your student ID and the CNT password. Once you're there, we're going to open up our File Explorer. So you can go down here to the bottom and click on File Explorer. And we're going to navigate to the C drive. So we're just going to click on this computer or this PC and click on our C drive. Notice that we have plenty of space on our C drive here. Now that we're in our C drive, let's just create a new folder. So in the white space underneath all of the different folders that are available, we're going to right click here and we're going to go to New and we're going to click on Folder. And we're going to name this folder Sales. I know it's generic, but that's okay. Hit Enter, and now you have your Sales folder there. Now that we have our Sales folder, we can create a new document. So we can open up our Sales folder document, or folder, sorry, and we can right click in the white space, click on New, and we're just going to click on text document. It doesn't need to be anything special here, just text document is fine. And we're going to name this Sales Team File and hit Enter. Nothing fancy here. We haven't done anything special. We're just creating a file inside of there, inside our sales. We can also create a new folder inside of our sales folder. Right click, go to New, click on Folder, and we can name this Sales Team Members. And inside our Sales Team Members folder, we can open that up and create another file. Right click, go down to New, text document, and we'll name this Sales Team Numbers and hit Enter. Again, we're not doing anything fancy here. We're just creating a couple generic folders and files so that we can see how system access works. Now that we have all that, we can close out of our File Explorer, and let's create a couple new users. Right now we have our student user, and that's great, but let's create a couple new ones. To do this, we're going to click on our Windows icon. We're going to right click on it, and we're going to go to Settings. And inside Settings, if we scroll down, we'll see a Accounts icon. We can click on that, and we'll have a couple different accounts icons. We can click on Family and Other Users, and this will allow us to add some more people to it. And we can do that by clicking on the Add Someone Else button. Now, when we do that, it's going to pop up with this, Microsoft account thing. We're just going to cancel that because we don't want to do this with a Microsoft account. We want to do this with a individual user. So we want to say that we don't have a person's sign-in information. And then we want to click on Add a User Without Microsoft Account. Now we've gotten to a spot where we can actually put in some individual information. So the user that we're going to create is going to be a sales user. Nothing fancy, again, just sales user. And the password for it is going to just be our generic CNT password. We're going to re-enter it, CNT password. And it's going to ask us for some security questions. We'll just put some stuff in here, nothing fancy, just get some answers. And now we have, as well as our student user, we now have a sales user local account. It's pretty simple. Now we can click on this account and we can do stuff like remove it or actually change the account type. Right now, it's a standard user. If we wanted to, we could click and make it an administrator, but we don't want to do that. So we're just going to go ahead and hit cancel. So now let's go ahead and make another user. This time, we'll just click on the add someone else. Say we don't have that person's info. Add a user without a Microsoft account, and this one's going to be the HR manager. And again, we can just use this CNT password. Make life easy. And again, change all of these answers to something. It doesn't have to be anything that you can remember. It just has to be something. Now we have our HR manager and our sales user. Now let's go ahead and try to log in with both of these users. We can close this. And I'm just going to left click on the Windows icon, and we can click here on our student, and we can sign out. Notice that I didn't switch users. I could have just switched over to a different user. I'm actually signing out. The reason that I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that my user isn't up and running while these other ones are up and running. So now you can see that we have 3 different options for who we can log in as. We can click on each one of those and type in our password, and we can log in as those individual users now. Notice that this might take a couple minutes because it's configuring a new user for us. Okay, let's go ahead and take all of these off from saying yes to make them say no, because we don't want them to know all this stuff. And there we go. Now we're logged in as the HR user. So let's go ahead and log back out of the HR user, or sorry, HR manager. Sign out. And let's sign back in as our student. Remember that right now our student is the only administrator. Okay, now that we're back in as student, we can actually go into our computer management by clicking on our search bar here, typing in computer management. And inside here, we can click on local users and groups, and we can click on users. And we can see that we have our HR manager sales user, and student. So we can actually create another user just by coming in through this process. So let's right click in here, create a new user, and let's just call this one password testing. And we're going to type in WCC as the password. Click on WCC again to confirm it. And we can change this so that they don't have to change it at next login. That's not necessary. And we can hit create. And then we can hit close. Now, if we go to our password testing user here, notice a couple things. First of all, it has a full name next to it, whereas the other ones didn't. The reason that it has a full name next to it is because we created it inside users and computers. And when we created it, it immediately created a full name for itself as well. We can click on properties on this, right clicking on the password test and click on properties, and we can see all the information that we had in there before, full name, changing the password, so on and so forth. You could also see the members of, where this one is a member of users. You could add it to be a member of other things, but for now it's just a member of users. If we go back to general and we change this to user must change password at next login, we can hit apply, hit OK, and we can log out of our student, sign out, and we can log in with password testing, type in WCC, hit enter, and you can see that it has to change its password now. So if we hit OK, it's going to tell us that we have to have a new password. And that password, for right now, we'll just do the normal CNT password. Oops. Current password, WCC. New password, CNT PASSWRD. CNT PASSWRD. There we go. There. Now it's been changed. And again, this is going to take a couple minutes because it's creating this new user for us for the first time, creating all those folders and everything. Again, we'll turn all this off because we don't need it, and hit accept. Now we can log out of this, sign out, and log back in as our student. And we can go back into Computer Manager. Click on Local Users and Groups. Click on Users. We can right-click on our password testing, click on Properties. We're going to click on the Member Of tab here. We're going to actually add the password testing as an administrator. To do this, we're going to click on Advanced, and we're going to type in Find Now, and it's going to show us all of the different groups that exist. We could have typed something in and then clicked Find Now, but We'll just make it nice and easy for ourselves. The very second one that we see is the administrators group. So we're going to double click on that, and then we're going to hit OK. So now the password testing is also an administrator. Click apply and OK. And now if you were to log in as password testing, it would have all of the rights that the student account has. The rest of the lab is going to have you do some password testing that will allow you to see how passwords work. You'll have to set up some group of policies, but you should be able to follow along the lab quite easily. I don't want to waste your time by going through every single step with you. So go ahead and look through the lab, try the different things, test it, make sure that it's working, and give your input inside the lab. If you have any questions, feel free to email your instructor or ask inside of Blackboard. But try the different passwords out, see how they work, see how they don't work, and let us know what you think. Hope you enjoy the rest of your lab, and we'll see you next time.